Varun, you come from CBRE, fairly large-scale organization, extremely sizable geographical footprint in one of the fastest-growing sectors, which has a cyclical nature to it in the industry. Draw upon your experience and tell our audience today, from your vantage point, what are the challenges of compliance management in India?
Let me give you a brief background about where I come from and the world of CBRE and the world of commercial real estate and real estate in general. So CBRE is the number one IPC international, consultant in real estate consulting work across domain areas. And we've been in India for more than 30 years. I've been personally here monitoring and heading the department for last 8 years now. And I think the only thing that is certain is in business and in compliance, my guru used to tell me is uncertainty. There is nothing certain. Everything keeps changing, everything keeps evolving as far as business is concerned. And we as compliance professionals need to keep our ears and eyes open to make sure that we are in front of whatever changes the world is going through in general. And I always, come across a lot of different domain areas. So I take care of audit, compliance, risk in general, all three domain areas in my purview of my job. And therefore, I have the full picture in terms of where we are in terms of the entire GRC, which we call that in terms of governance, risk, and compliance. And because Rishi, you mentioned the challenges, I think every industry has different set of challenges. What we cannot take for granted is that our business is going to continue at the same pace forever, and the fact that we can continue to ignore the regulatory changes. I think the regulatory scale and the change in which the regulatory scale is evolving over the last few years and will continue to evolve is absolutely insane, because at the end of the day, what we are looking at today becomes, what the truth of today becomes the untruth of tomorrow, so as to say. So what was right today maybe becomes wrong tomorrow. Why? Because more information comes in, more ways of doing that comes in. Like you mentioned, in COVID, we were not sure if we'll be able to manage the infrastructure, we will be able to manage working operations from remote places. But now we know it's a factual fact that we can do it from anywhere. And we have the expertise in going that. So what was wrong yesterday became right today, and the other way around as well.
Varun, you mentioned things are changing very rapidly. Can you take one or two examples of such changes for the convenience of our audience?
Yes. So I think from a commercial real estate perspective, I think the government is very, very sensitive when it comes to the real estate department and AML regulations. So if you would see today, I think a lot of anti-money laundering regulations are today into the picture. I've been working extensively from the last 1 or 2 years along with the regulators in my AML domain, the likes of Financial Intelligence Unit, the likes of CBT, the Direct Access Department, and all of that, to make sure how we can continue to exist in an environment wherein there used to be a case wherein real estate was known for money laundering, right? It used to be many years ago. And so now the government is, from the last few years, coming to know that we have to do certain more extensive jobs on the ground to make sure how do we change that that perception that we have as far as the real estate is concerned. And therefore, we are working very closely with the government. And because you talk about technology, I think we are bringing in a lot of different new tools to make sure our AML program is strengthened, not just in India, across the globe as well. Because we are making sure that at the end of the day, end-to-end due diligence from all the customers, the moment they enter our departments, the moment they hit CBRE's books to the end, at the time when we invoice them, and even monitor them post that as well.